if it's still the case.
Yeah,
By the time
I
you get
actually,
ready,
yeah,
if there's
that's,
more
I think
buildings
it's
there.
Test.
People ask me all the time, are
Sure.
you related to the lifters down there? And I'm
All the
like,
devel-
yes,
all
and then they can't
the
quite
units to the
pinpoint
west
who
there.
they know.
Yeah, a lot of individual houses going.
All right.
Right.
It is now
Go that path, all right?
6 o'clock, and I am going to call the meeting to order. This is the May 4th, 2022 Coralville Planning and Zoning meeting, and it is now called to order. Can I get a roll call, please?
Fessler? She's not here. Holderness?
Here.
Casserly?
Here.
Aaron's?
Here.
Winman? Friedoff? Taylor?
Here. Okay, are there any corrections to the agenda? Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve.
Seconded.
So moved by Casserly, seconded by Aaron's. We will now vote on approving the agenda. All those who approve say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And those opposed? Motion carried 4-0. Any corrections to the notes from our last meeting? This would be the April 6, 2022 meeting minutes. Seeing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the April 6, 2022 meeting?
So moved.
So moved by Holderness, seconded by Aaron's. We will now vote on approving the minutes from the April 6th, 2022 meeting. All those who approve say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 4-0. We're moving on to item number 5 of the agenda. We have a public hearing requested by Forevergreen Development LLC to recommend approval of Forevergreen Heights preliminary plat amendment. I will now open the public hearing on this item.
Thank you. I'm Matt Adam, I'm representing the developer. We submitted a preliminary plat, I think it was a year or so ago, 2021, that was approved. And we've made a few changes. We amended the overall master plan. If I had a pointer, I could maybe point out some of the, do you have a pointer?
I don't, but
So
I can.
we, I can come over here, just kind of point to it. We amended the master plan to have this road right here go all the way straight through. Previously, this is just one big outlot. That's the first amendment, so we needed to amend the plat to adjust for that road. The second thing we did was we created individual lots right here for townhouses, what you've traditionally seen as townhouses in the community. The only way to divide up a 4-unit building is to do a condominium regime. You submit it to a condominium regime, and then that creates individual legal parcels for the 4 units. The alternative to that is to create a lot line that goes right down the middle of the demising wall, a narrow lot that goes right down the middle of the demising wall, similar to what you see in a duplex. Most duplexes are, well, they're called zero lots, but they put the lot line down the demising wall, and that creates an individual lot. It's an attached single-family lot for, is what's considered for financing purposes. So the reason we're extending that to the townhouse units, like we do with duplexes, is for financing purposes. The buyers of these units, if they're treated as condominiums, they have a very hard time, if not impossible time, qualifying for the secondary market financing, FHA financing, because of condominium regimes. Bankers, they just don't like them. A lot of the requirements that banks have are that you must have so many units cannot be owned by more than one person, you can't have rentals, and so they have a hard time getting financed. I've talked to a lot of the local banks, and they say we just keep those condo loans in-house. We don't even try to sell them on the secondary market. And of course, that secondary market financing is the holy grail of financing, and it really helps buyers, first-time home buyers specifically, to get that mortgage payment down as low as possible. So what we've done is created individual lots for each unit of a townhouse. What you will see in practice will look just like a condominium regime. People will think it's a condominium regime, but it's not. It's an individual legal lot. I will then come over and place covenants, restrictions, and easements on those lots. So in practice, there will be, there'll be an association. The association will maintain all of the stuff that a normal condominium association does, like the grass, the exterior. So in practice, it will be very similar to a condominium, but from a legal standpoint, instead of having your property called a unit in a condominium regime, it's called a legal lot. So that is the second purpose of this amended plat. So that's what we're here to request, those two minor amendments to the preliminary plat that was approved back in January of '21.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Seeing no one else moving forward, I am going to close the public hearing and note that Commissioner Fessler has joined the meeting. I will now, do we have a motion to consider recommending approval of the preliminary plat amendment?
So moved. Second.
Moved by Aaron, seconded by Holderness. Do we have any discussion?
Is there anything, Dave, you want to tell us that Matt hasn't already?
I don't, yeah, there isn't really much more for me to say. Some units are being reshuffled in phase 3 of this now phase 4 project, or 4-phase project, I should say. But the average density is not changing. The average density for the entire development remains 4.80 dwelling units per acre, and the total number of units will remain the same at 1,002 total units. So none of that really changes. As Mr. Adam had indicated previously, the big changes have to do with the type of units, ownership structure, which is something that will be worked out outside of this, but also Craven Drive now connecting, which is actually an improvement in terms of traffic circulation inside the subdivision. I would just only add that staff's reviewed the preliminary plat and we do find that it is has been prepared in accordance with the requirements in city code. That's all I have.
Okay, anything further? All right. We will now vote on the approval of the preliminary plat amendment. Could I have a roll call, please?
Casserly,
Aye.
Aaron's,
Aye.
Fessler,
Yes.
Holderness,
Aye.
Taylor.
Aye. Motion carried 5-0. Do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Moved by Aaron's,
Second.
seconded by Holderness. The meeting is now adjourned.